Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today's video is Who's in the Wrong Wednesday, where you get to decide who's right and who's wrong. Would I be the a-hole if I exposed my sister's affair to her husband? This first post comes from the BestofRedditorUpdates subreddit, posted by a throwaway account. I, 30 female, caught my sister, 40 female, cheating on her husband, 49 male, with a guy, 40 male. I was shocked because my sister and her husband are like the epitome of love that never dies. Literally. They've been together for 15 years and still look very much in love, the way they treat each other. I felt anger and despair because I love my brother-in-law as a big brother, and he's been there for my sister when she was at her worst mentally. He was there taking care of her, without ever once complaining. Now I found out, I confronted her, and she tried denying it. I told her that she was pathetic. Now that she felt good about herself, after her husband nursed her back to health, she's gonna pay him back with cheating? I said I was gonna expose her, and she begged me not to, crying and telling me I didn't understand. Please don't hurt us! You'll be hurting my husband more than you hurt me. After a few days, she asked to meet me. She looked like she'd been crying the whole time. She told me she's been keeping her husband's secret, but she wanted to tell me and made me promise to not tell anyone. Her husband is impotent and hasn't slept with her for the majority of their relationship. I didn't believe her, so she showed me all the texts and emails that she had with her husband and her therapist and her diary. He hasn't touched her in almost 12 years. Her depression was because of it, and her back to health was because of this new guy. She said that since she started sleeping with him, she's been happier, and by extension, her marriage and husband have been happier. I asked her why she doesn't just tell her husband. She said that she couldn't because she loves him and couldn't hurt him. She's afraid he'd be lonely without her, because he's always said that he has no one else in this world, and he would die without her. Don't you see that we're all happy? Please don't hurt us. About the guy, she met him through work, and actually, he's kind of a famous entrepreneur in our city. She showed me the text, etc. He's also married, but he has 3 children. Oh my god, it gets worse. He has the same problem with a sexless marriage. Yesterday, she asked me to meet her. She was with him. The audacity. She looked totally broken. He looked smug and angry, and didn't even want to look at me. She asked me to think of all the people that would be hurt if this came out, and she said they'll end their affair, and promised to never do it again. Yeah, I'm sure. They would just hide it better. He got upset and said, or we could just tell everyone and stop hiding. She got angry and told him to shut up. I don't know what to do. She said that she kept her husband's secret because he's embarrassed, and he's very possessive and jealous. I've noticed that he is the jealous type, so he didn't agree to the open marriage. She swore it was over with this other guy as well. She showed me texts where they had a huge fight because he actually thinks I should tell her husband so they could be together, but I don't know. He's given her a carrot love ring that she still has, and when I confronted her, she said she couldn't throw away an expensive ring, but she would donate it. She wears it in a chain underneath her clothes. Oh my god, she's such a bad liar. I'm sorry this is getting long, but I wanted to include all the details. Hope you can give me an honest judgment. Would I be the a-hole if I told my sister's husband? I think this whole thing is wrong, and the cheated parties need to know the truth, but it will hurt my brother-in-law. I get you said they were like the perfect couple, but it kinda sounds like they're not a good match for each other. They just don't meet each other's needs. Update. I told my brother-in-law about the affair. I have read all your comments, and thank you very much for the insight. I had to do what would make me sleep at night. I love my sister, but she must have known that I couldn't live with the guilt. I've been cheated on by someone I loved, and I know how poopy and selfish you must be to cheat. I also know if I could do it again, I'd want to know this time too. Because while the pain was enormous, I feel lucky now that I found out. My sister has called me like 20 times, but I didn't answer. She texted me, Do you feel better right now? How could you do this to me? I loved you. You ruined my life. I didn't answer her. I wanted to tell her that she was the one who ruined her life. My parents are shocked and angry, but not with me. Brother-in-law called and told them everything. He talked about how maybe he and my sister will move back to his hometown. He's broken and devastated. I hope they can move on from this together, or separately. It doesn't matter, as long as they move on and find real happiness. Just not the cost of other people, like it is now. Update 2. They're fine. My brother-in-law is very hurt and destroyed, but he assured me that he wasn't angry with me and that I did the right thing. He said that the truth hurts sometimes. He's planning on taking a break from work and to maybe go back home for a while. My sister is fine and not hurt. She doesn't talk to me and I get that, but she's not harmed in any way, no more than a broken heart. But let's face it, that was of her own doing, and I think she knows that because that's what she told our parents. Her husband wants them to move back to his hometown because he can't trust her living in the same city as her lover. And, as he said, he can't follow and spy on her his whole life. But he is willing to forgive her because he loves her. Our parents are very angry with my sister. They aren't angry with me, but they thought I should have told them before I told my brother-in-law because they have their own ways of making my sister admit what she's done. At least then, it would have come from her. As for her lover, I don't know. He's married, as I said in my previous post. I don't have the details, but I know that my brother-in-law has texted him and told him to stay away from his wife. I've been on both his and his wife's Instagram accounts, and it seems like the wife knows now. I don't know if she'll take him back or not. The way he acted at our meeting, it was like he didn't care either way. Boy, I hope he doesn't have a prenup and she takes him for all he's got. Am I the a-hole for choosing my son's friends over family? Posted by a throwaway account. I have a 16-year-old son, Nate, who's been in this friend group of 5, including himself, since they were about 8 years old. We're white, and so are 2 of the other boys, but one is Middle Eastern and the other is South Asian. This is relevant. It was Thanksgiving, and 2 of the boys that aren't white don't celebrate the holidays, so I always invite them to ours. They usually come, and it's always great fun for the boys, especially since Nate's cousins are either much older or much younger. Like the past few years, I invited them, and they both came. My mother also brought her new boyfriend. I'd met him before, and he seemed fine. He saw the boys in the living room and immediately went, "Now I know those 2 young men aren't yours." I explained to him that they're Nate's friends. He whispered something to my mother, but she just walked away. Okay, whatever. He stood by the boys the whole time, but they didn't seem to care, and made conversation with him. I relaxed and went to do something. 20 minutes later, Nate comes running up to me, saying that Grandma's boyfriend is being weird, so I go see what's happening. He's interrogating the other boys about their true intentions with Nate and the rest of us. One of the boys jokingly goes, "Damn, you caught us," which sent him spiraling. Ah, that kid's a legend. I interrupted and dragged him to the kitchen, where I told him he needs to leave. He was being extremely racist. He was surprised, and I'm sure he was expecting me to at least give him another chance, but I've read enough stories to know that he'd say something even worse later. Besides, I care way more about those boys than I care about him. He called my mother over, and she begged me to give him another chance. She'll make sure he keeps his mouth shut. I told her, I'm sorry, but I couldn't care less. She got extremely upset and said that I should send the boys home if they're so uncomfortable. Plus, it's a family holiday. I just shrugged, and she got really annoyed and said if he leaves, she leaves too. I did hesitate, but ultimately decided she can leave too. Mum didn't take that well, and said her boyfriend was just saying what they were all thinking, and it's about time those boys stopped infiltrating our family time. What does that even mean? They left, and I was still fairly confident, until one aunt and her daughters said that it was true, that they and others don't like that these 2 boys are at every Thanksgiving and sometimes Christmas, and it's a little suspicious, but it's not a race thing. They said it was pretty terrible of me to choose random teenage boys over family, but I told them they were welcome to leave as well, and they shut up. I don't know if that's what I'm doing, but apparently many of them feel this way. Am I the a-hole for choosing these boys over family? Mum won't talk to me either. But those kids are family. They're Nate's chosen family. What the hell? And your mum chose her racist boyfriend over being there with family, so she can hardly talk. They're only infiltrating the family if there's something to hide. So, are you part of some major organized crime family? Do you hide bodies in the garden as part of your Christmas celebrations? No? Then your family's hardly interesting enough for anyone to bother infiltrating, eh? Unless, oh my god, they're after your grandmother's secret cookie recipe, aren't they? I figured it out. They've been pretending to be Nate's friends all these years, biding their time, waiting for the right moment to strike. Who would have thought your mum's racist boyfriend would catch onto their con just in the nick of time to stop the great cookie recipe heist? If you made it to the end, let me know by writing cookie recipe heist down in the comments. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.